Welcome to Four-Legged Loyalty, our channel where we share inspiring stories of love and loyalty between four-legged friends and brave humans. And today, we will follow the special story of a wrongly convicted cop who never forgot his loyal K9. The video Wrongfully Convicted Cop Begs to See His K9 Won Last Time What Happened Next shocked everyone. We'll take you on a journey full of paradoxes, from the pain of injustice to the touching moment of reunion, and the unexpected developments that followed that left the whole community in awe. If you love stories of loyalty, justice, and love, please like, share, and subscribe to Four-Legged Loyalty so you don't miss out on other touching videos. Join us in spreading the message that love and kindness always have the power to change lives, no matter how challenging they may be. Now join me on the touching journey of a policeman and his canine friend, a story of overcoming injustice, bringing faith in justice and absolute loyalty. The dim light of the early morning, through the dusty windows of the old prison, seemed to try to penetrate every corner of a past full of bitter memories, creating a gloomy, silent space that could never be forgotten. Outside, the sound of police sirens echoed in the cold air, mixed with the sound of the wind blowing through the old trees, as if nature could also feel the sadness buried in every brick, every wall of this place. In that scene, old photos, pieces of paper, and gradually fading mementos were hung throughout the hallway, telling the story of a past full of glory and emotional wounds. In that space, we gradually see the image of the policeman, a man with sad eyes but never losing the resilience of a warrior living with undying faith. His eyes, filled with memories, tears of a life of injustice, reflect the scars not only on his body but also on his soul. He stands there in the uniform he once wore with pride, now only a remnant of an honor tarnished by false accusations and heartlessly arranged evidence, making him feel like he himself has been betrayed by the people he once trusted. And next to him, in a dark corner of that small room, always exists the image of his loyal friend, a German shepherd, with intelligent eyes and a strong appearance, a testament to the beautiful memories that once existed. Even though they are just old photos, every line on the dog's face seems to carry a wordless message: loyalty, companionship, and love that transcends time. The image seems to remind us that, even though the deep wounds of life can make people lonely and lost, there are always sacred connections, memories that never fade. It is in the gloomy space of the old prison, where everything seems frozen in time, that the story of the wrongly convicted policeman, a man with a heart full of faith and perseverance, begins to unfold. Here, everything is not just cold walls and faded photo frames. It is also a testament to an arduous journey, a relentless fight to regain lost honor, to affirm that justice, even if hidden in the darkness of injustice, will eventually be revealed. Every mirror reflected in the hallway, every footstep echoing through the shuttered doors, contains a story of sacrifice, of loneliness, and of a desire to live with faith and goodness. And amidst it all, the image of our canine friend remains a guiding light, a symbol of silent companionship, reminding each of us that no matter how many challenges life throws at us, loyalty and love will always be eternal values, ready to light the way home. Old memories rushed back like autumn winds, carrying the scent of past times and memories that never fade. Before the cruel fate blocked the policeman's path, his life was full of vitality and faith in justice, shared through every moment with his loyal friend, the German shepherd he loved. That image appeared clearly every morning, when the sunlight shone through the windows of the training camp, illuminating the young and enthusiastic faces. He and K9 rushed into intense training sessions together, where the training whistle sounded continuously, interspersed with the agile running steps of both man and dog. Each exercise, each mission was a challenge not only to train the body but also to forge a spirit of solidarity, creating a strong, wordless bond built over time through long days of companionship. During his walks after work, he and K9 often strolled through the small paths around a training area, where the chirping of birds and the gentle breeze carried the sounds of nature, like a whisper of comfort to his tired soul. He always remembers the afternoons, when the sunset dyed the sky golden. He and K9 sat together under the shade of an ancient tree, sharing peaceful moments. In those moments, he did not need to say much. Just looking into K9's loyal, grateful, and intelligent eyes, he felt the empathy, faith, and determination to overcome all difficulties in life. Those memories become even more precious when we recall the image of him and K9 when they faced danger together. Whether it was just daily tasks such as patrolling the area, arresting criminals, or assisting in investigations, each of his actions was accompanied by the wordless support of his four-legged friend. When the siren sounded, when everything exploded in the chaos of a dangerous situation, K9 was always ready to rush in, using his instinct and loyalty to protect him, showing that friendship exists not only in happy moments but also in the darkest moments. Their story is not only about training sessions, fun times, or difficult missions, but also about simple everyday moments where a gentle touch, a glance, or a tail wag from K9 became a source of encouragement and comfort for him. That image is imprinted in his mind, a testament to a sacred friendship built through every moment of companionship, through every challenge and difficulty. That special relationship is not only a connection between humans and animals, but also a symbol of loyalty, trust, and hope in the true values of life. It was in those moments, amidst laughter, footsteps, and exchanging glances, that he and his canine friend created a story that transcended all time, a story of unconditional love, of trust, and of silent sacrifice that only those who have experienced it can fully understand. The life of the police officer changed in an instant when the false accusations rang out like a thunderbolt in the middle of the day, suddenly and cruelly. It all started with a seemingly set-up case in which he was accused of being involved in a major crime, a crime that he absolutely could not accept. The false evidence, elaborately arranged and presented through each document, each testimony, gradually covered the curtain of truth, causing the honor he had shouldered for many years to become corrupted. With each passing hour, the pain of betrayal and injustice spread in his heart, like a storm destroying all the remaining hope. He felt as if the very system he had devoted his life to had turned its back on him, leaving a deep void. Every meeting, every trial was like a tragic play, in which he was forced into the role of a traitor, a criminal despite his heart being full of sincerity and faith in justice. Amidst the chaos, the image of his loyal companion K9 gradually became distant. The training sessions, the hours of walking and sharing joys in the past were now just faint memories, like old photos that had faded over time. The isolation not only forced him to live with loneliness within the cold walls of the prison, but also made the memories of the moments spent with K9 even more sad and choked. He missed the times when they raced together on small roads, the times when K9 was ready to rush in to help, and the sympathetic looks when just a light touch or a glance was enough to comfort his soul. Day by day, the accusations and suspicious looks from everyone around him weighed more heavily on his mind, turning every moment of his survival into a mental challenge. He felt the distance, the disappointment from his loved ones, from his comrades who once believed in him, but now no one stood by him. Every whisper, every doubtful look from society was like a knife cutting into his heart, causing him to not only lose his freedom, but also lose his faith in himself. In those moments, amidst the reign of injustice and quiet loneliness, he wondered if the truth would ever be proven, if his dishonored honor would ever be restored. But no matter how much pain he felt, deep in his heart, love and faith in the truth never went out. He still remembered the image of his friend K9, his loyal friend who had been by his side through many challenges like a small flickering light, reminding him that even when pushed into the abyss of injustice, loyalty and faith always existed, ready to light the path to justice. Those dark moments, though filled with despair, became fertile ground for seeds of hope, promising a tomorrow not only of vindication, but also of a love that never fades. The days inside the prison passed like endless seconds, where the cold walls and the echoing sound of creaking doors seemed to cling to every breath of man. In that narrow space, the policeman, once the pride of justice, was now just a worn-out figure of a man abandoned in the storm of injustice. Every morning when he woke up, he had to face the gray walls, the echoes of lonely footsteps, and the reproaches of the past, as if all the sacrifices he had made were now just a burden that could not be lifted. Inside the small cell, he found a little comfort in the old mementos, faded photos, old letters, and the image of his loyal friend K9. That image always existed as a sweet memory amidst the pain, like a small light flickering in the pitch-black darkness of the prison. He held each photo tightly, as if embracing the past, reminding himself of the days when he and his friend K9 were on duty together, sharing simple moments of happiness. In the long hours of loneliness, he often quietly recalled the mornings when he and K9 ran and jumped on the small roads outside the training camp, when laughter and faith were present in the air. Those memories were like spiritual medicine, helping him overcome the feeling of emptiness and despair. He told himself that no matter how bitter the present was, those memories would still remain, like the promise of a brighter tomorrow, where he could live again with his lost honor. At night, when all the noise outside was quiet, he would pick up a pen and a piece of paper, slowly writing down sad thoughts. Words of hope to see his friend K9 again, the only image that still retained the warmth of the past. Every line, every sentence he wrote seemed to engrave deep into his soul the desire to reunite, to be comforted by love that never fades. In the silence of the prison night, the slow breathing, and the mood filled with longing created a sad symphony, where every pain was understood through the pages, through every drop of sweat and silent tears. Life in prison was not only about days of imprisonment, but also an internal battle with himself, a battle to maintain his belief in justice, to prevent injustice from destroying his true self. Although every passing hour was full of hardship, he still silently reminded himself that, somewhere outside these cold walls, there was still a vast world with true values, where honor and truth could be restored. And in his mind, the image of his canine friend remains a guiding light, a symbol of loyalty and faith, the faith that, no matter how cruel the present, one day the light of justice and love will shine again on his path, bringing with it the promise of freedom and new life. In the quiet space of the prison, between the cold walls and the flickering light of old oil lamps, the policeman sat alone at a worn wooden table, holding a pen and a blank sheet of paper. The first lines that appeared on the page were like the floating feelings of the soul. The pleas were not only for vindication, but also the voice of a man who was humiliated by injustice. He wrote about his endless longing for his loyal friend, for the image of the canine dog, a symbol of companionship and loyalty that had been with him through many hardships. Each line he carefully chose was like the effort of his heart trying to say that, although imprisoned in the body, the soul always yearned for freedom and justice. In each word, he shared his feelings, a sense of despair mixed with a faint hope that one day soon he would meet his loyal friend again and embrace the warm image that K9 left in his memory. He remembered the mornings when the sunlight shone through the door, when K9's laughter echoed outside the camp, making his soul feel more alive in the long, lonely nights. Those memories were not only pieces of the past, but also a source of encouragement to help him overcome every dark moment. Not only stopping at private letters, he also sent those wishes to people outside, to people who could listen to the heart of a person who had been wrongly accused, to people who still believed in truth and justice. He wrote about the pain of being separated from his family, friends, and K9, but also about his strong belief that, no matter how cruel fate is, one day the light of truth will rise, and he will be able to live again with his lost honor. Each drop of ink he slowly etched into the paper, like the silent tears of a soul yearning for freedom, is an oath to never give up no matter how many challenges life pushes him into. In the small prison cell, where time seems to stop, his letters fly over the walls, carrying his pleas, his hope, and his unconditional love. Those pleas are not only his own voice, but also the echoes of many people who have been hurt, of people who still believe in justice and the belief that, no matter how cruel life is at times, love and loyalty will always lead the way, opening the door to new life. In each word, in each line of his thoughts, he conveys his hope for a brighter tomorrow where he and his friend K9 can embrace the past and affirm that injustice is only temporary, while faith in truth and love is eternal. Amidst the storm of false accusations and the pain that piled up in prison, when everything seemed to be nothing but echoes of injustice, a new light suddenly appeared. That was when Thomas, a defender of justice with a passionate heart and an unyielding spirit, entered his life like a cool breeze in the middle of a hot summer. Thomas was not only a lawyer, but also someone who had experienced many battles against injustice and injustice, who had witnessed and felt the pain of people beaten by the system. From the first meeting, Thomas' eyes contained deep sympathy, as if he could see through every scar on his soul, every tear that silently fell during the lonely days in prison. Thomas began to spend time meticulously studying the entire case file, looking for weaknesses in the false evidence and the intricate contradictions that had been elaborately arranged. The closed meetings, where the voice of justice gradually resounded through each heated discussion, became the place where he expressed his strong belief in the truth. He and the investigative team, tireless advocates of justice, sat together in the small conference room of the law office, the warm yellow light shining on the tangled documents, each line coming to life through the faith of those who refused to give up. Thomas listened to his tearful letters, each of his confidences the words of a broken heart but still burning with hope. He did not just stop at reading, but also felt every range of his emotions, from the disappointment of being separated from his family to the desire to see his loyal friend again. The image of K9 was still present in each line of confidence. Every time they met, Thomas always used sincere words of encouragement, reminding him that, no matter how many storms there were at present, justice would eventually find a way out of the darkness. As the days passed, Thomas and his team continued to collect evidence, interview witnesses who had previously been forgotten, and delve into details that the system had deliberately hidden. They held small press conferences where new evidence was gradually revealed, like pieces of a great picture of the truth. The atmosphere of those meetings was always filled with enthusiasm and hope, as each word and each story shared became powerful, reviving the belief in justice in the hearts of those who had been hurt. Thomas also did not forget to send letters of encouragement to him, each letter like a commitment that the truth would never be buried forever. He said, "Justice may be delayed, but it will come. Keep your faith, because within each of us there is the strength to overcome the darkest challenges." Those words were like a fire that warmed his soul, eased his pain, and gave him invaluable encouragement to continue fighting for himself. Through his tireless efforts, new pieces of evidence gradually emerged, opening a way out of this wrongful conviction. Thomas and his team began a difficult but meaningful journey, a journey that affirmed that, no matter how constrained the system is, loyalty and belief in the truth will always find a way to flare up, shining the light of justice. And from there, his life began to change, as if the storm of injustice gradually faded under the power of faith, of support, and of people who dared to stand up for what was right. After months of separation, after lonely hours in the darkness of prison and endless longing for his loyal friend, the day of reunion finally came. In a spacious room filled with natural light, where gentle rays of sunlight filtered through the window, the warm and hopeful atmosphere seemed to dispel the long, cold nights of injustice. He entered the room with a trembling heart, knowing that in this moment, all the pain and loss would gradually be soothed. And then, the image of Rex appeared before his eyes like a beautiful dream in the midst of harsh reality. Without any words, just with affectionate eyes and a cheerful wagging tail, Rex seemed to be welcoming him back, as if all the moments of separation had disappeared in the blink of an eye. The close-up of their eyes shows a profound message of loyalty and unspoken love. Rex's eyes are filled with joy, comfort, and the longing of a loyal friend, while his eyes are sparkling with tears, but also filled with happiness at meeting the only figure who still holds on to the belief in justice in life. They approach each other, and there is no need for flowery words, no need for long stories, just a warm hug, a light touch of two bodies that have fought together through many hardships, all seem to say everything. In that hug, the longing, the pain, and the days of separation suddenly disappear, giving way to a complete feeling of reunion. That feeling is like a medicine for the soul, erasing the deep wounds of the past and rekindling faith in life. Silent tears fell down his face, mixed with Rex's gentle smiles, a symbol of undying loyalty. They didn't need to say anything, because everything was expressed through their eyes, through every gesture, through the deep connection of two souls who had shared so much joy and sadness together. That moment was not only the reunion of two friends, but also the proof of a deeply engraved oath, an oath of loyalty, of love that overcomes all injustice, of the belief that, no matter how challenging life is, good values will always be preserved and passed on. In that embrace, everything seemed to be reborn. All the pain of the past seemed to become lighter, and once again, he realized that, no matter how many storms there were, loyalty and love would always be the guiding light, giving him the strength to continue fighting for justice and for himself. This is an unforgettable moment, a symbol of the victory of faith and loyalty over all adversities of life. Immediately after the touching reunion, the atmosphere in the room gradually changed to a new shade, the shade of sudden change, as if fate had decided not to let everything stop there. Shortly after the meeting, a new wind carrying hope and faith began to spread. After long days of living in pain and loneliness, his health suddenly showed signs of recovery, as if his heart had found its rhythm of life again when being recharged by the warm moments with Rex. That recovery was not only physical, but also mental. He gradually felt lighter. The wounds of his soul were slowly soothed by his belief in truth and justice. Besides, after the emotional meeting with Rex, a series of unexpected events occurred. A new investigation team was formed. With the enthusiastic help of Thomas, a staunch defender of justice, began to reopen the entire case file. New evidence that had been buried was gradually revealed, bringing valuable clues about the arrangement of the case. Small press conferences and public hearings created a strong wave of public opinion, causing the community and the media to gradually return to the light of justice. He realized that, after months of abandonment and isolation, his voice was not only resounding from within the prison walls but now resounding far and wide in society, as an affirmation that justice, even if forgotten, will eventually find its way back. These unexpected developments spread everywhere, changing the atmosphere of the entire community. People who had witnessed injustices now stood up to cheer and support, not only for him but also for all those who had been hurt by the system. The spread of the message of justice and loyalty was like a burning fire, carrying the belief that the truth always has a way out. He gradually realized that his life was taking a new direction, where the hardships of the past were no longer an eternal burden but a challenge to become stronger. In every conversation with Thomas, In every press conference and every closed meeting of the investigation team, he felt a clear change. Every word of encouragement, every new piece of evidence presented seemed to affirm that, no matter how much suffering he had gone through, truth and justice would eventually be restored. He began to smile slightly, the tears now not only of sadness but also of joy, of encouragement when he realized that, after so many months of darkness, the light of hope had begun to shine. The unexpected developments after the meeting were not only the recovery of an individual, but also a testament to the power of solidarity, of loyalty, and belief in the truth. Each small step forward, each change in the community's perception and his own, was like a promise that, no matter how challenging life was, justice would always find a way out of the darkness. Those moments, full of surprise and filled with faith, open a new chapter in his life, a chapter of life, of the triumph of the human spirit over all injustice, and of love that never fades. Stepping out of the storms of injustice of past, he began an arduous but determined journey to regain his lost honor and affirm the truth. Every day passed in the small conference room of the law office. Under the warm yellow light and the incessant tapping of the keyboard, he, Thomas, and the investigation team together opened new pages, pieces of the hidden truth. The tense meetings, where every discussion contained faith and justice, gradually helped him see that no matter how many crimes of injustice, the light of truth would eventually shine on his path. In the process of constant struggle, he gradually found support from the community. Old friends, who had shared their faith and hope, now returned to his side once again. They gathered in small cafes on familiar street corners, exchanging every detail of the case, from vague statements to newly revealed evidence. Each meeting was not only a time to review the past, but also a time for each other to encourage each other, to share the belief that justice is not only a desire but also a mission of strong hearts. Those days, he worked tirelessly, flipping through each case file, analyzing each trace, each piece of paper, and constantly conversing with those who had witnessed the case. Each interview, each witness statement was like a piece of a puzzle, gradually revealing contradictions, irregularities in the evidence that were carefully staged to deceive justice. He fought not only for himself, but also for those whose honor had been tarnished by the heartless system. Every step forward, no matter how small, became as precious as a halo of light in the darkness. The moments when he stood in court, when the court's voice echoed through each question, when each explanation of Thomas made the false evidence gradually disappear, were the moments when his belief in the truth became stronger. He felt a clear change from the eyes of the people, from the words of encouragement from those who had fought with him. In each press conference, he listened to the voice of the community, the voice of belief in justice, the voice of hearts that never gave in to injustice. That feeling was like a sophisticated medicine for his soul, making him more determined to affirm that his honor would never be extinguished forever. Besides, the intimate meetings after the tense trials also helped him regain himself. During simple meals with family and friends, when their eyes met with warm smiles mixed with faith, he gradually felt that, although life had given him many wounds, the love and support of the community would always be the source of strength to help him stand up. He knew that the journey to regain his honor was not only his own struggle, but also a symbol of belief in truth and justice, values that anyone deserves to live with pride. Through each page, each trial, each understanding dialogue, he gradually regained his own honor. His journey to regain honor and justice, although full of hardships, opened a new chapter where the pain of the past was transformed into faith and strength to build a bright future. It was not only the fight of a person who was wrongly convicted, but also a testament to the strength of a human spirit, a strength nurtured by faith, perseverance, and sincere love. With every step, with every drop of sweat and tear, he affirmed that justice, however buried, would eventually be exposed and honor would be restored, like the eternal promise of truth. Finally, as the light of justice begins to penetrate the dark clouds of the past, his story reaches a humane and touching climax. In the warm atmosphere of a memorial service, where the shimmering yellow lights reflect on the faces of his relatives, friends, and community who have come together to welcome him back after an arduous battle to regain his honor, the atmosphere is like a symphony of faith, forgiveness, and love. He who has endured so much pain and injustice is now reunited with his family, embraced by the warm arms of the community, a living testament to the power of loyalty and the desire to live with faith in a bright future. Amidst the laughter and sincere blessings, the image of his loyal canine friend Rex is always present beside him, as an eternal symbol of connection that overcomes all barriers of prejudice and injustice. Every time he looked into Rex's eyes, he remembered the difficult days, the storms of life that seemed to never pass, but it was also thanks to those moments that he understood more and more that love and connection can never be separated by time or the barriers of social prejudice. The oath of those who fought together, whether on the battlefield or in the heart of long-lasting trials, is now wrapped up in every hug, every smile, and every tear of happiness. His story is not only a journey to regain honor after unjust mistakes, but also a testament to the belief that love, loyalty, and connection between people, no matter where they come from, what circumstances they live in, will always be the guiding light, the fire that warms the heart in the darkest moments. At that memorial service, when the voice of the community rang out, when those who had suffered injustice came together to say, "We will never let love and loyalty die," the message of connection that overcomes all injustice became vivid and complete. He shared that, although the past was full of unforgettable wounds, those moments of healing were proof that every human being has the right to love, to be cherished, and to live a full life. Amidst the soft music, laughter, and warm sharing, he affirmed that love and loyalty will always be unbreakable values. And in Rex's eyes, in the embrace of his family and community, he realized that injustice is only temporary, and the message of love and true connection will always be an eternal source of strength, opening new chapters for life, where faith in justice and humanity always triumphs over all challenges. This is the final message he wants to convey. No matter how unfair the world is, love, loyalty, and connection between people will always light up faith, warm the soul, and affirm that every living being deserves to live and be loved.